We often talk about AI transforming products. Less often we talk what it does to organizations and even less about what it does to people. But here is the truth. We are slowly realizing this in 2026. We are no longer designing tools. We are designing systems that act. And these systems aren't just software on a screen. They sit in our teams, in our workflows, and our decisions. This episode isn't about interfaces. It is not about models, and it is not about prompts. This episode is about leadership, specifically the rise of agentic leaders. In a world where intelligence is no longer exclusively human, the very definition of boss is being rewritten. Welcome back to Human X Intelligent. I am Madalena Costa and I'll be your host. And this is the season 1 finale. Yes, we are in season 1 finale, coming with season 2 very soon. But season 1 has been a huge journey. We didn't just tour technology. We mapped a shift in the world's operating system. We started with agency, the moment where products stopped wanting to click and started taking initiatives. We explored autonomy and why intelligence without boundaries is actually a liability. We moved into multi-agent systems where intelligence scales through coordination. We talked about intent and why prompts are no longer enough when systems plan in our behalf. And last week, we looked into verifiability, the layer of trust that determines whether we actually let go of the steering wheel. But each episode answered a question. Together, they point to a bigger one. When your team is hybrid, leadership changes from managing tasks to designing environments. To lead in 2026, you need a new mental model. I call this the Agentic Governance Framework. It's built on 3 pillars that every leader must define for their specific team. The first one is the decision boundary matrix. You have to decide where the machine ends and the human begins. The first one is the execution zone, high volume, low risk. Agents act here with full autonomy. An example of this is an agent spotting a bug and deploying a document patch. The second one of this is the consent zone, high speed, medium risk. Agent propose, humans give the green light. An example of this is an agent drafts a 50K ad spend strategy based on market shift. Simple. The sovereign zone is the next one. High risk, high empathy. Human lead, agent support. An example of this is hiring, firing, and defining the ethical North Star of the company. The second one of the framework is pretty simple. It goes through legibility, the why factor. An agentic leader cannot manage what they cannot see. If an agent takes action, is it legible? Can you, as a leader, reason about why it did what it did in 5 seconds? No? So maybe you should take more a look into it, right? If the logic is a black box, you aren't leading, you're just hoping. The third one of it is reversibility. Mistakes are inevitable. They're gonna happen. It's normal. But an agentic leader designs a system where mistakes are survivable. Before you deploy an agentic workflow, ask, if this goes wrong at 2 a.m., how fast can we hit undo? How you implement this depends on your team. Let's look at how the agentic leader thinks in different contexts. For example, for product and engineering, you aren't just managing output, you are managing the agentic lifecycle. Your role is to ensure that the agents are trained on the right context so your human engineers can focus on architecture and the impossible. For marketing and creatives, you are moving from campaign manager to vibe architect. You define the soul, the brand, the boundaries. The agents handle the infinite variations and the 24/7 engagement. For operations, you are no longer fixing bottlenecks, you are auditing systems. Your job is to look at the pattern of how your agent and human interact and ensure the flow remains human-centric. This is where we talk about the why. A human X intelligent company is not just a company that is faster or cheaper. If you build a culture where AI is just used to squeeze more work or out of people, you will fail. You will lose your best talent to companies that understand the real opportunity. The real opportunity is intentionality. In a human X intelligent company, we use the machine to handle the routine so that humans can handle the remarkable. Companies must start presenting this culture now. You need to tell your team, we are automating doing the chores so you can focus on the choices. This culture is built on human accountability. In agentic organization, the bot did it is never an excuse. We hold the human designer responsible for the agentic's behavior. This creates a culture of a high-stakes design and high-trust execution. We often fear that as the system gets smarter, humans become less necessary. I believe the opposite is true. An intelligence becomes a commodity, something you can buy by the minute from an API. The things that cannot be automated before infiniteability more valuable. Your intuition, your ability to speak truth through power, your capability to care about the customer in a way a model never will. To be a human X intelligent company is to acknowledge that while the machine can provide the intelligent, only the people can provide the human. One is the engine, the other is the compass. If you start building that culture today, you aren't just preparing for the future of work, you are defining it. Season 1 was about the shift, it was about the solo journey into the theory of agency. Season 2 will be about the practice. Starting at the end of the month, we are opening up the conversation. I'll be joined by the builders, the skeptics, and the leaders who are actually doing this. We look at real world agentic failures and what we learn, how to onboard an agent to your team, the psychology of trusting a machine with your reputation. We'll share a short snippets, deep dive interviews, and multiple perspectives, all centered around one question. How do we build a world that is both more intelligent and more human? Thank you for listening. Thank you for thinking with me. I'm Madalena, and I'll see you in season